Okay, folks, so we've got the Eminem Show, and we're going to talk about Eminem's third album. So, with this, between the Marshall Mathers LP and this project, Eminem was also on the D12 debut Devil's Night. Now, this was a great look, but this between this album and the Eminem Show and Encore, this is really where Eminem started to pick up his songwriting abilities. He got used to rapping, and in a lot of ways, the effectiveness of the songs changed. So this is a little bit more recent, and this is kind of the albums that start to feel kind like it's a bit more effortless than supposedly it was before. And examples of that would be songs like Cleaning Out My Closet. I mean, Way I Am was good, but I think this song it just has like a foreboding feel to it. Superman is another great one that does this. Soldier, and When the Music Stops with D12 and Square Dance, and even White America. I mean, some of these records showcase that Eminem is able, Slim Shady is able to really go after these songs. And to elaborate on that, Slim Shady, he was getting it done, and I'm between 50 Cent, his album, and the 8 Mile soundtrack that he all did 2002 to 2004 or so, he was one of the biggest rap stars on the planet, and it's definitely worth noting simply because how much attention this album received. It sold 10 million copies in America, one of the few albums to go diamond, especially since about 2000 or so, and it just he was everywhere. I mean, that's the thing. He was the biggest rapper out of 2002, and with that, this was also one of the biggest rap albums out. So really, apart from maybe Jay-Z and Nelly, there just were not that many folks that were around in that year. The crown was his for the taking, and it was very easy to see. Now, this is definitely something that I particularly like, just because if you were going to start off, if you were new to rap, and it was, someone said, well, what 5 albums should I get? This would be one of the ones I'd recommend to you. Definitely that. Probably this, 50 Cent, and a couple others. But as far as starting off with mainstream rap, this is kind of why I've avoided it. But I feel like, you need to know about some of the staples in rap music. This is the sort of music that if you get used to this every single day and you're able to like this form of music, it it speaks for itself. Now, I definitely do the rock albums, but as far as rap, this is about as cold as it gets, at least until you find some of the underground and horrorcore and that sort of stuff. But if you act like this never existed, this could be your best friend for several years. So that's really the whole thing about it. It's easy to get used to Eminem, and it should not really take that long to do it. But so, like I said, this 50 Cent and a few others, these are definitely the ones that you're going to want to get going. And I'm going to also talk about Eminem a bit more in the future, so we'll get to that. But the best songs on this project to me is White America, Superman, Without Me, Business, Soldier, and When the Music Stops. So these are just a few. I mean, there's obviously more than that, but these are just a few of the ones. White America is a real, almost haunting song that needs to be heard a lot more. It's definitely, something to note is the Marshall Mathers LP had like 2 waves of songs. You may remember the songs off the radio, the 3 ones, but then there's also like a second wave where it's still hip to know an Eminem song that wasn't released to radio, like Drug Ballad, Kill You, Bitch Please 2, those type songs. Really, out of I think maybe 14, 15 songs off that album, it stands to reason that at least half is still getting spins. Without being a hardcore Eminem fan, it's still pretty hip to listen to these songs. That may not have been something I covered last year, but I'm definitely going to now. There are definitely songs on this that even if you're sick of commercial rap, you've listened to it forever, there are still songs that stand strong. And you throw those in addition to the underground rap that I've reviewed, and there's no way that you can't enjoy this. So the production is handled extremely well. I love Cleaning Out My Closet. I love Superman, Business, Sing for the Moment, Say Goodbye Hollywood, Till I Collapse. Most of the album is produced extremely well. It's just a question of how obsessed with mainstream rap you are, because there is a trap that you can fall into, and that's just listening to rap every day and, not thinking that anything else exists. If you're going to listen to Eminem, there's also Coldplay, there's just so many, Nelly Furtado, all these different people that you could listen to as far as diversifying. So that's the main thing. I'm kind of losing the point that I made, but just remember what I'm saying. Uh, so the songs you need to hear, I liked 11 out of 15. And I'll say the 4 songs that I did not enjoy, which were Haley's song, Say What You Say, and Say Goodbye Hollywood, and Drips. Now, Dr. Dre and Obi Trice are on here, but I do not feel like these were good songs to introduce them. This is the kind of the alleyway that I was talking about as far as too much rap. There's just not many fan bases that are going to actively listen to this sort of music. So, obviously songs like White America, I think Business, Soldier, Collapse, Till I Collapse, My Dad's Gone Crazy. These are some brilliant ones, but there's just not many situations, unless you're a hardcore Eminem fan, that you're going to be able to do this. So it stands to reason maybe, this is about the only thing. It's just been a while since 2002. Now, obviously, there's other Eminem records, but even so, I think, well, there's just not that many complaints other than that. I'm going to give this album a 9. It gets a 9 just because, or a 9.5. I'll give it a 9.5 just because just one more song and I probably would have given it a 10. And just those beats to me were not as up to par. But Eminem goes the whole way through. I mean, every song he does have the lyrics down in. And really, I mean, as far as like his verses going, yeah, I'm kind of losing sight of what I have to say. So I'm not sure I can edit this. So if I end up keeping this and I screw up, just to understand that this is the sort of shit that I go through. This is normally where I edit. But yeah, Eminem's lyrics are on par. And so the social score, which is how well this plays around you in a group of friends, I will give this album a 10 because it's Eminem. Everyone's heard this. So this is a question of how much you like this music. And so the future, we'll see when Eminem comes back. And the only thing left is really, can this record be topped? And the answer is not really. This is pretty much a rap classic. 10, 15 years from now, when this is on its 25th anniversary and Eminem is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or that sort of thing, I guarantee that this is going to be one of those albums. So it was a good moment, 2002.